Our first project that we're going to make this evening is going to be this little treat holder. Now, let me show you the inside. Hi, Joanne. Oh, good. You're putting up Halloween stuff while you watch. Good for you. This is the little sucker that we're using. It's a lollipop. It's a twisted lollipop. I think it's called Twisty Pop on Amazon. And if you like these, and again, I'll show you the size of this from stick to the end of the sucker. It's 4.5 inches long total. So if you end up liking this treat holder tonight, this is where I found it on Amazon, okay? So take a screenshot or a picture of that. That's where you can find them. This is last year's version. And when I went on yesterday to Amazon, I couldn't find just the orange. I found the black and orange, which is actually more festive. So there's the link. Again, this Friday over on my blog, you can find a supply list with measurements and picture, okay? So you'll be able to find that over on Friday on the blog. And then you'll have all this information again, okay? All right, be sure to like and share, ladies, while we're going along here. I'm going to move this, if that's okay, and I can certainly bring it in later if I need to. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining. Hello, Debbie. Hello, friend. How are you? So nice to see you tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be working with the, oh, you're welcome, Janie. No problem with the link. It is always helpful. Tonight, we're going to work with the Monster Bash Suite, and I think I've been working on this for the past few weeks. I've had a lot of fun with this suite, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and you may even want to pick up some of these supplies before they're gone. But anyway, I'll show you what's inside this suite real quick, okay? All righty. So, of course, the first thing we have is the Spooktacular Bash. And what's nice about this stamp set is every single item or stamped image except that has a die, all right? So here are the ornate frames dies, and when they're cut out they look like this, and they work with every single stamped image except for this piece, okay? So that is the stamp set and the dies that go with it. All righty, and next we have the embellishments. They're right here. We've got some, I think this might be gray granite. Let me see if it's, no, basic gray. So basic gray enamel dots and basic black, ravens or crows, skull and crossbones right there, and tombstones, okay? And I'm not sure how many pieces this is. Let's see if it tells me in the book. 80 pieces, 80. So that's quite a bit. And then here's the scalloped ribbon. You all know I love ribbon. So here is the scalloped ribbon. I don't know if you can see that scallop or not, but it's there. And I'll show you the paper quickly. I've got to reach for this. The paper is part of my 6x6 paper share. And if you're still interested, I can place your order tomorrow for the shares. Tomorrow I'll be ordering supplies for the shares, okay? So here is one of the pieces of paper. It's a newsprint. And this piece here has all the ghouls. And what's really neat about this is, and by the way, this Monster Bash paper comes 12 by 12, okay? Not 6 by 6. I cut it 6 by 6 for the shares. All right, so what's neat about this piece of paper is it's 12 by 12, and I thought that it would probably have a repeat. For example, it would have these frames, and then the pattern would start over. Hi, Sonia, welcome. Excuse me, taking a sip of water there. But what I found was on this 12 by 12 sheet, Every single frame is different. Every single frame. It is not repeated. So I thought that was really interesting. All right, and so there's another piece. And here's a piece of the designer paper. Sonia, I'm just showing everyone the designer paper in the Monster Bash pack, just in case they haven't seen it. These are bats, by the way. And then, of course, we have the maze. And remember that stamped image? What did I do with the stamp set? Here it is. See this right here? Here it is here on this piece of paper. Hi, Terry. So you're joining me from Fort Lauderdale. Well, hopefully you're having beautiful weather. Hi, Chris. Welcome. And here it is again, more of the Monster Bash paper. I'm just showing everyone the sweep before we get started. I know I do this every week, but just in case someone is brand new and joining us, here's some more of the ghouls, and then here's the spider webs, okay? And this is part of my paper share. And if you need more information on my paper share, I'm placing the order tomorrow. So tonight is the deadline. And there are 138 sheets of designer paper from the holiday book. And let's see, 138 sheets, and it's $48, and it does come with dividers, giving you all the information on the paper, okay? All right, well, we're ready to get started, ladies. And again, let me just show this real quick. This is the Amazon link for these little suckers, and they're about 4.5 inches tall, okay? Yeah, the paper is awesome, Sonia. I always love Stampin' Up's paper. It's the best. Okay, and then on Friday, visit my blog, pick up the full supply list with measurements, okay? So this is the little gem that we're going to be creating tonight, and we're going to do some layering here. And the little lollipop stick just pops out through the top. And if you open it up and look at that little Velcro dot, you're going to find your sucker inside, okay? Now we're making one of these tonight along with the coordinating card. So whoever wins tonight's drawing is going to have just a mega amount of stuff coming in the mail to you, okay? All righty, so I'm gonna move the measurements, move some more things out of my way, and we're going to get started. And I'm actually gonna use these measurements because I'm going to show you how to cut your paper so that you can get more than one of these treat holders out of a sheet of cardstock. All right, so here's our paper trimmer right here, and I am going to open the arm because we're going to need it. And then I'm going to, this is a standard sheet of basic black cardstock. It's 8.5 by 11, okay? Now our cardstock needs to measure 2 by 9 inches, okay? So this is only 8.5 inches, and I need a 9-inch side. So I'm going to rotate this to the 11-inch side, and I am going to cut off 2 inches. And by cutting off those 2 inches, I've got the size paper that I need. I'm sorry, I'd forgotten about that. I just thought about something else, and I wanted to measure that real quick. Oh, interesting. Okay, that might work. All right, so here we are. We now have a sheet of cardstock that's 8.5 inches by 9 inches, all right? And the reason, again, I'm gonna show you how to get more than one treat holder out of this sheet of paper. So we're along the 9-inch side, and we are going to go to 3/4 of an inch, and that's 3/4 right there. And we are going to score, okay? So now I'm going to be using that scoring blade right here, and I'm going to score. And I hope everyone can see the measurements pretty good. Basic black cardstock's pretty thick, and so that's why I'm scoring it several times. All right, now we're gonna score at 1 inch. So again, I'm just going to run my score just a couple of times since it's thick paper. Then we're going to go over to 4 3/4 of an inch. All right, and we're going to score again. And then we're going to move over to 5 1/2 inches. So very basic measurements for your scoring. Okay, nothing hard. All right. Now I'm going to rotate the paper and I'm going to cut it at 2 inches. So here is the 2-inch mark. So that is 1 treat holder. Again, I'm going to cut at 2 inches. Again, at 2 inches. Ladies, it looks like I'm going to get 4 treat holders out of this 1 sheet of paper. Isn't that awesome? All right, and that's what we have. We've got 4 treat holders just like that, okay? All righty, and now we can move the trimmer out of the way. We're not going to need it until the next project. And now we have the fun parts. I am going to put this one in here. We are going to do some embellishing. All right, let's see. I don't think I'll need that anymore. I'm going to go ahead and fold my score lines. I want to be able to see where these are. And while I have this little area right here, I'm going to hole punch it. Now, this is a Fiskars hole punch that I've had for quite some time. We used to sell this in our catalog, but we don't anymore. But do you see that little hole? I'm not sure what size that is. I guess it's 1/8. It's 1/8 of an inch, okay? So you want a hole punch that small. Because if you look at this stick, the stick is about 1/8 of an inch in diameter, okay? So if you don't have 1/8, then look for something just a little bit bigger. I am just going to eye this. I am not measuring, and I am going to punch a hole right there, okay? And I just kind of eyed it as to where the center was. So does everyone see that hole? All right, so now we've gotten that out of the way. All right, now we are ready to put it together here. Okay, so I have cut our cardstock, and let's see what the measurements are for this. I'm sorry, taking a sip of water. Okay, so the measurements for your designer paper is going to be 1 7/8. And then it's going to be 3 1/2 inches, okay? So 1 7/8 by 3 1/2 inches right here. And we're actually going to use our snail to apply this. Now, oh, here's my snail. It was hiding. I'm like, I know it's here. I know I put it here. Okay, so here we go. And this is the front. Oh, hang on. Let me see something. You know what? Aha, this is the front. All right. Okay, and I'm just centering this, and I'm going to have a little bit of designer paper right around those outer edges. Okay. All right. You know what? I got to do something. I have turned this around, I think, the wrong way. Hang on. Let me see here. Do I want it that way? Hang on. All right. I may have goofed on our measurements. Let's see real quick. Don't you just love this? Okay. No, that's the same. Okay. All right. So I just have this paper. I need it on this panel. I'm going to lift this up. Okay. And I want it to be here. That's correct. All right. But for some reason, this is a little longer than I want it to be. So, ladies, back to the drawing board. I am going to measure this. Okay, that's 3 1/2. So I want this to be about 3 3/8. Make sure that I did that right. Oh, that's where I messed up. This needs to be shorter. I did give you, I don't know if I gave you the correct measurement, so I will check that in 1 second. I'm going to trim off about 1/8 of this, so hang tight. I apologize. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. Now this will work, and this is going to go right along here. Okay? There we go. That's what we need. Okay, so let me measure that again. Yeah, it's 3 3/8. And so this, ladies, is 3 3/8. It's just a little bit smaller than 3 1/2. Okay, so I'll show that to you on the ruler. Right here is 3 3/8. And this is 3 1/2. Thank you, Margaret. So see, ladies, this is what really happens to me during the day, okay? It's all trial and error all the time. Okay, so we got that done, did that, and now we're going to put this little panel on the top. So let me give you the measurements for this. Again, it is 1 7/8. Hi, Amanda, welcome. And it's 5/8 of an inch. Okay, if everyone can see that. And then I'm going to put some snail on here. And you do want to be sure, and you know what? I bet I didn't do this right. Hang on. I may have another mistake here. I should have rehearsed. Oh no, I got it right. With this designer paper, you will notice some cursive writing. And so I was just checking to make sure that I had the paper going in the correct direction. And I do, so that's good. So yeah, you kind of want to, if your paper's directional, you have to look out for that. All right, so that little part is done. And now we're going to do some stamping, and we're going to layer. So for those just joining us, we're making this little treat holder with a little lollipop right inside. Okay, and now we'll do some layering and stamping. All right, so we're going to use Eat, Drink, and Be Merry. I've already taken the time to cut out the die pieces, and I've even cut out this piece, and I'm going to stamp on it, okay? Now these dies work like all, ooh, that's really inky. I did ink this. Well, we'll see how it turns out. You know what? Let me just stamp on this first. I just want to see how that, oh good, that's perfect. I had added ink and I just wanted to be sure it wasn't too much ink. All right, I'm gonna bring this closer to me and I'm going to stamp right on this. All right, and now you can see the Eat, Drink, and Be Scary right there. And I'll set that aside, and let's see, I am going to put a little bit of snail right there in the middle, and then I am going to center this frame, okay, right across there. And ladies, now I'm gonna zoom in so you can get a better look at what I'm doing. So all I've done is put snail behind the black piece, and now I've attached the two, all right? And then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back, and guess what? I've been using my black dimensionals because I've been working with the Monster Bash Suite. All right, and then I'm just gonna pop up these words right along here, and you're going to see how nicely that little framed image works with this scroll work. Isn't that beautiful? All right, and then let's add some embellishments. All righty, and again, I've got the basic gray and I've got the basic black, and I am going to take this bigger enamel dot and I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to do it again on the other side. Okay, so now that part is done, and let's go ahead and put some more dimensionals on the back here. All right, let's see, that actually should do it. And we'll peel these off. And before you put this onto your holder, you want to be sure, okay, that you have it closed so that you know how to position it, okay? All right, and so I'm going to put it about right there. All right, and now we'll add one of these crows. All right, and he just flew away, didn't he? And we will put him right there, okay? Now, this is the point where you want to put your sucker in, but you know, I haven't had the chance to order any this year, so I used last year's. So whoever gets the treat holder in the mail, don't eat the sucker, okay? But you can get them off Amazon. And what you'll do is, and I'm just gonna pull this up, let's pull it out, and I'll show you how to put it in. You're going to use a glue dot. Whoops, almost dropped those. All right. And I'm going to put 2 on the back of the packaging, and then I'm going to insert this inside and attach it. And what you'll do is you'll even, you know, stand it up so that you know how far to attach that in the holder. Okay, so now it's attached, and we need something to close it. And so I am using these Velcro dots. They are 3/8 of an inch in diameter, and they are the thin clear fasteners. So they're clear, okay? And then I am going to take one of these. I'll take this one. And then I'm going to take one of the fuzzy pieces. I keep forgetting that I move the camera so that it's close up, that I zoomed the camera in. Now both pieces are stuck together, and I'm going to attach that to the inside of that. Then I'm closing it like that, okay? And then when I open it up, I've got one piece there, if you can see that, and the other piece is there, and the 2 Velcro dots are lined up. So I hope that makes sense, okay? And ladies, I'm going to be sending that to someone tomorrow in the mail. So you need to be sure that you are liking the post and that you're sharing, okay? So that I can put your name in the drawing, all right? So that's the first little treat holder. I think these would also be adorable for Christmas, and then get some of the Christmas lollipops. Thank you, Sonia. I could see the little snowman on here. I just might have to make one with the snowman. I love snowman. That's my favorite part of the whole winter season. So anyway, that's coming in the mail. All right, we're gonna get ready and create this little card to go with it, okay? Okay, I was just taking a sip of water here. I get so thirsty. Okay, so one thing I want you to notice about this card, and this is going to be difficult for you to see, but you might be able to see it like this. Do you see writing across this cardstock? That is an embossing folder that's brand new, and it's in the holiday book, and it's called Scripty. And I'm going to show it to you in a minute, but I just wanted to point out that cursive handwriting on the cardstock. If you look in this designer paper, you're going to see cursive writing. So I thought the 2 coordinated so beautifully, even though they're not on the same page of the holiday catalog. Okay, so I thought that was really cool. Okay, so it's basically a standard card, but I am going to show you how to emboss the cardstock, and I am going to show you how to cut this designer paper, okay? So I'll zoom in here just a little bit. And by the way, just in case you didn't know, Stampin' Up! Added items to the clearance rack yesterday. So if you haven't had a chance, go on to my online store at shop.becreativestamping.com and check out the clearance rack. It's got a lot of goodies in there, okay? All right. So I'm going to move these things around, and this is a standard card base, all right? So it's 5.5 by 8.5, okay? And then you score it, all right? So that's your card base. So now I'm going to show you how to do your cardstock, and maybe you can see this better now. I hope you can see the script on here. It is so beautiful, okay? So this is one of those three-dimensional embossing folders, all right? So I'm going to zoom out so I can show you the folder, and I want to show you the sandwich for cutting, or excuse me, for embossing. So you're going to use your Big Shot platform. I know, Gail, I know you hit the clearance rack last night. Thank you so much for your online order. Thank you, thank you. You found a lot of goodies. So we're going to use the Big Shot platform. And if you don't have this one, and if you have the older platform that's tab 1 and 2, open up one tab, okay? Then we have Scripty. And the script on this, ladies, goes across this way. Okay, so usually when we insert paper, we put it in like this and roll it through, but the script handwriting is going horizontal. So you've got to put your paper in this way, put it on your platform. Hi, Mary Kay. And then use your 3D embossing folder. Now, if you do not have this embossing folder, use one of our other cutting pads like this, but you may need to add some cardstock to it to get the thickness that you need, okay? I hope that makes sense. All right, since this is a 3D folder, I put a little blue sticker right there, and then it's telling me it coordinates with this blue plate, okay? So I know I'm going to use the two of these together, okay? Now, let's see, did I bring any pumpkin pie? I don't think I did. All right, so in order to get this three-dimensional scripty writing, there you go, can you see it now? All right, in order for me to get a deeper impression so that those words would really pop, I use a water bottle. It just has water in it. I spritz the paper, the plain pumpkin pie paper. I just spritz it. It's wet. Then I put it in the folder with the blue plate and run it through the Big Shot. And that's how I get the deeper embossed image, okay? Now, I just realized that I did bring plain paper over here. So I just want to show you how I spritz it, okay? All right, so in case you haven't tried this, all right, that might be too wet. I've got water running off of it. Then this is when I insert it into this embossing folder and use the blue plate, okay? And then when it comes through, it's still going to be damp, but you're just going to let it air dry, and it only takes a few minutes, okay? And then that's how you get that deeper impression. All right, so I just wanted to share that with you. And the measurement for your pumpkin pie cardstock is going to be 4 inches by 5¼ inches. And again, this new embossing folder, it's in our holiday book and it's called Scripty, okay? I am really loving that, and I love how it coordinated with this paper. Okay, so before we attach this to the card base, we do need to trim this. And we're going to trim it at an angle. And these measurements will be on the supply list on Friday, okay? All right. So your designer paper needs to measure 3 7/8 of an inch, and you're going across. Thank you, Mary Kay. And then 3 1/8. Okay. All right. Now we are going to actually mark our paper, and it's going to be hard to see because of the color of the designer paper. But what you want to do is you want to measure from the bottom up. This is the bottom of my designer paper, and I'm going to put it at 2½ inches, and then I'm going to put a little tick mark right there. So I'll show you what I mean. I am measuring from the bottom of the designer paper up, and that's 2½ inches, okay? All right, and then I am going to put it in my, I am going to put this in my cutter. Let's see, make sure that I get this right. Let's see, so I want that. Okay, that's what I want. No, that's not what I want. Hang on one second. There we go. That's what I want. Okay, so this point is here, right on this groove. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to move the trimmer so you can see it. This point of the designer paper is right there in that groove. And do you see this ink mark here? I'm going to put that in the groove. All right, just like that. And then I'm going to have to lift up here because there we go. All right. And then I'm trimming some of that off, okay? And it looks like I could have trimmed a little bit more. That mark is going to be covered up. So if you do make the mark in ink, don't worry about that. Let's kind of look at it and see how we're going to like it on the card. I think it'll be fine on the card, okay? So, and again, I could go back and I could trim that if I wanted, but it's really not going to be important because we're going to put ribbon there, and so we don't need to worry about that. It's gonna work out just fine. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do is to go ahead and get this paper attached, and I'll zoom out just a little and find my snail. Now, does anyone have questions so far? Please let me know. I'm going to attach this to the bottom, well, almost to the bottom. I've actually got about 1/8 of an inch, ladies. So I want to show you that. All right. So you've got about 1/8 of an inch of the pumpkin pie cardstock showing. Okay. Now, if you wanted, yes, you could cover up this whole bottom. You wouldn't have to have this, but I thought it looked really cool doing that. So that's why I left that 1/8 of an inch in pumpkin pie. And then the next thing we're going to want is some scallop ribbon. We're going to get this ribbon on before we attach it to the card base. Okay, and it doesn't take very much ribbon. You're just going across and you're going to wrap it around the back. I like to do that with glue dots. So let's see here. And you just have to look at your ribbon and kind of figure out, you know, which side of the ribbon you want to use. They're all basically almost the same. I've attached that glue dot to the back, and I am going to wrap it around that card. Okay, right there on the back. And then I am going to take this and use another glue dot here. And we're going to wrap this around the back, just like that. And now the ink mark is not showing, okay? So there we go. This is what it looks like. And we're going to attach this to the card base. All right. Now, for those of you just joining, the clearance rack items were added yesterday, and that was a surprise. I didn't know that was going to happen. So I woke up yesterday morning, and they had added products to the clearance rack. So be sure to check out the clearance rack if you haven't done it yet. I am just going to be centering this right on the card. Okay? Just like that. And that's the first part of the card. Isn't that cool? Now remember, this is directional paper with the bat. So you got to make sure that you get that paper on correctly. Like here's the cursive writing. You want it right side up, not upside down. Hi, Shelly. It's so nice to have you with us tonight. Welcome. I haven't talked to you in a while, so it's so nice for you to join us. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to do some stamping. And we're going to use the Whisper White, and we're going to use the black Memento ink. And we are going to stamp Dracula. Now look, of course you can't even see me stamp Dracula, can you? There's also this cute little mummy. So you could actually make several cards. You could put a mummy on some of them and the little Dracula on others. Okay, so just be aware of that. And I really like to ink this up because of his clothing, okay? There's a lot of black ink there, and we want to get full coverage, okay? And there we have our little Dracula guy. Isn't he cute? Okay. Now what I've done is I've already taken the die and I've cut this one out. And I'll show you the die. It's the same die we used in the first project. It's this one right here. Now you may be wondering, what's the Big Shot sandwich? So I will show you. You're going to use your magnetic platform with a cutting pad. You're going to add your cardstock, then your die, and then another cutting pad. And roll that through the Big Shot, and you'll come out with this cool little shape, okay? All right, so we're gonna do some coloring, and we're going to use this is the Dark Pumpkin Pie Stampin' Blend. Thanks for sharing, Shelly. I'm giving away 2 prizes tonight. Well, actually one person's going to get 2 prizes tonight. The little treat holder and the card. All right, so all I'm doing is I am just coloring this outer edge and the Dark Pumpkin Pie. Okay, so I just have to go around the whole thing just like this. Okay, I know it's probably boring to sit here and watch me color, but this shouldn't take too long. And again, I'm using the fine tip instead of the brush tip, and I'm going out of the line, so I'm sure you can do better at coloring than I can. Okay, all right. Okay, so we have that part done. And then we're going to take the light smoky slate, okay? And I'm going to use the fine tip again, and this time I'm going to color in the background. Just get the whole background so that this will make this little guy pop. And I'm going to zoom in so that you can get a closer look at what I'm doing. Okay, so just like this. This is super simple to do. Again, it's smoky slate and it's the light Stampin' Blend. All right. And then we're almost done. Okay. All right. Gosh, a plane just went by and it was really loud. Now I'm going to color his little tie. This is light real red. So here's his little tie in here. Okay. There he is. That's the tie. And then these are his hands right here. All right. I'm going to zoom back out so we can look at the layers and just kind of put these together. We are using this piece, which is the same shape we used on this treat holder. It's this shape right here. And it's this one right there. And then of course we used this piece for cutting out the basic black paper. All right, so let's see. Let's get our card over here. And what you do want to pay attention to is this. Get an idea of where to put this frame on the card, and that will help you position this, okay? And actually, let me get another dimensional, and I'm going to put it right in the center. And I'm using my black dimensionals, by the way, with my black cardstock. Love it. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this frame positioned on this. All right. And then let me add some more of those dots, and we're going to do the black here. And I'll put one right there. And then here's the other one. Yeah, Shelly, I think the coloring really makes him pop too. And of course, you could use the mummy stamped image and color that one too, color in the background. But I do think it really helps with that. All right, so now that these two pieces are together, we can go ahead and we can position this on the card. And actually, well, I'll still kind of put it over to the left. I actually could have centered that. I didn't, but I probably could have put it in the center of the card. Now I'm going to pop up this little cutie, this little Dracula, and I'll use the black dimensionals. And by the way, with the black dimensionals, you get, I can't remember the number of sheets, but you get the large and the small black dimensionals in the same package. But I think it's like 600 of them or something. I don't know. But look in the holiday catalog. That's where you're going to find the dimensionals. All right. And you know what? I needed to put a little snail on the back of this or it is not going to hold. So let me just do that real quick. There we go. All right. Now we'll go back to attaching this. And now we're ready to pop up our little Dracula. Now that he's colored, I'm trying to get him on here straight. I love these dies, and I will tell you, even if you don't make Halloween cards or make Halloween projects, hi Lee, welcome. You can still use these dies. They are awesome. All right, you'll be able to use them for all kinds of words in the catalog and greetings. I am now going to use some of these little wiggly eyes or googly eyes. I never know what to call them. I want to show you where they are in the catalog. Oh, by the way, here are the dimensionals. Black Stampin' Dimensionals, which is what we use tonight. You get 680 in black, 200 regular size, and 480 minis. All right. And then the googly eyes are on page 57, and 100 come in one container with 4 different colors and 2 different sizes. So you really get a nice assortment. And we're actually going to use the Tombow liquid glue, and you just need a tiny bit, and you're just gonna put that over his eyes. And I'm gonna zoom in. Can you kind of see where I put that glue? And then I'm going to take my Pick Me Up tool. I'm gonna use these big eyes because I wanna use purple tonight, all right? So there's a purple one. And don't worry, that glue will dry pretty clear. All right, and then I have that one. And so he's gonna have purple eyes tonight. What do you think? What do you think? Isn't that cool? So yeah, these are the assorted googly eyes. All right, and they're really, really, really cool.